Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine.
What is up, what is up, what is up? What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video, another day of eating. As you can tell by the title, we've got the usual, we've got some coffee to start things off. Usually I stick to espresso because it is lower in caffeine. It is properly feeling like spring at the moment, so nothing really beats some sun, some coffee, and some cold thermogenesis or a cold shower in the morning, just to get things going. I'm actually feeling pretty hungry already, so rather than rambling a bunch, let's just jump straight into the cooking. So for breakfast, we're going to be having this little guy. So for those of you who haven't seen what a poisson is before, this is like essentially a baby chicken. It's a young chicken slaughtered before they're 28 days old, depending on how you feel about that or not. They're usually pretty cheap. I tend to buy a bunch and then just stick them in the freezer and get them out the night before. I really love cooking chicken by poaching it because you get, one, an awesome broth, which is great. It's got collagen, it's got glycine, it's got all of those good amino acids that we don't necessarily get from normal flesh meat. I haven't decided quite yet what the flavor's gonna be, but we'll figure something out. And that is basically it, like a super cut down version of onion, ginger, garlic, and chili, just chopped up, chucked in there, some sea salt, some black pepper, a little bit of lime juice because it will help lighten it, a little bit more zesty. Put it on to simmer. We want it boiling over, like so. And we stick it on for 30 minutes, leave it, we have a delicious broth, delicious chicken, and then I'm gonna figure out something else to go alongside it when we get to that point. Right, so the chicken is now done. We have one cooked chicken and some broth. I'm going to take this out. Because I'm counting calories today, I'm actually going to weigh it, shred it down, figure out how much meat we have, and then I think all I'm going to do is add some greens, some pepper to the broth, and then we have like a soupy thing.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine. Wanna move my feet.
So this is the meal. It kind of came out okay. I wasn't planning on making like a breakfast broth. It's kind of like a last minute decision. By the way, I used to do this all the time, but with sardines and eggs as well. And I'll link to a recipe that I made on my blog, which has this kind of meal. On the protein front, this is a great meal because with that chicken, we had about 200 and a bit grams of chicken, which according to MyFitnessPal was like 50-ish grams of protein, plus then the chicken broth. And then I also decided to add in a few egg yolks as well because of the quality fat. The vitamins that are in egg yolks is pretty incredible for you. And also because this meal ended up being very, very lean. So the calories were super low and I need to bring it up. Ideally, I would have some coconut cream and I can just bang in some coconut cream, coconut milk in here as well, and that would kind of bring it to what we need. We'll just eat some more fat later on. So the macros for this meal ended up being 73 grams of protein, 11 grams of carbohydrates, and 36 grams of fat, which is very, very low. I would want like another 40 grams of fat ideally to bring those calories up, but for the moment, it is plenty. So it's now like 1 o'clock. I've got some coffee. I've also got here a piece of chocolate with some almond butter. I actually had about 2 or 3 of these. So this is the last one. Oh, what a combination. I basically just glued my mouth together with that one. But yeah, nut butter, chocolate, coffee. It's like chocolate and coffee, but on another level. And also kind of just making up for the lack of fat in the first meal. I'm bringing the calories up. I've now got to film the last lot of videos for the new app that is releasing very, very shortly. So you can already use it for free if you want. I'll link it in the description down below. And when the update is finally live, as I said, very shortly, I will let you all know. I'm super excited to tell you more about this, but for the moment, hush hush. Let's go film some stuff. Right, so we are at the gym. Some of you probably recognize this already. I've filmed all of the videos in here that are going into the new release, as well as Bodyweight Basics, which is my skills prep focused strength program for bodyweight stuff, which, always is linked in the description down below. Enough rambling, I need to get cracking, let's go.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one, wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one.
Just finishing up with the filming, we're gonna kick off into the upper body session. Today, I wanna chat to you a little bit about meal timing and its importance in gaining mass and just recovering better.
Wanna drop on one, wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one.
Right, so meal timing is a big one. There's a few key things I want to chat about. Number one is in regards to muscle building, and then we'll get onto the other stuff later. So in regards to muscle building, obviously you've heard it before, the post-workout meal is actually kind of an important one. If you look at some of the literature on it, it does show there is like a significant impact with post-workout nutrition. That being said, there's not like a magic anabolic window or something. As long as you get a decent sized meal in after your session and you can really focus on protein and carbohydrates, that's gonna help with muscle gain. Obviously, this is supported by just a general caloric surplus, but that's kind of a given if you wanna gain muscle mass. Breathe.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one.
So yeah, post-workout nutrition, high glycemic carbs, sugary stuff, and protein. I personally like to use post-workout as an opportunity to kind of eat what I felt like eating in that day, maybe as a treat or something that I wouldn't if I was just like being more strict. Because you can kind of get away with it post-workout. If you look at something called the Randall cycle, which is to do with how we metabolize glucose and lipids, carbs and fat, on a post-workout state, our body is much more primed to just absorb everything and utilize it in a better way than if we're just in a normal state, basically. Oh, I need to remember to breathe in between talking. Don't judge the setup, all right?
Wanna drop on one, wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one.
This is a fun one. Just making the most of the equipment I have here. The second meal timing is to do with your last meal, the evening meal. And this is something I've actually noticed in the past few weeks that I've been applying. It's something I knew before, but I didn't really think about and didn't take as seriously as I should have done. And that is eating close to bed. So when we want to build some mass, we want to make sure that we have a decent amount of deep, restorative, rebuilding sleep. Now with my Aura ring that I have, I've done a whole video on this and I'll link that down below. I've been measuring the effect of eating earlier, sooner before bed, and how that affects my sleep. And I find that I get like half an hour to an hour more deep sleep. Just for example, last night, I checked my sleep this morning and I had 3 hours and 7 minutes of deep sleep. Like that's huge. Usually it's about 2. And this is just because I've been focusing on eating my last meal about 3 or 4 hours, 4 hours usually, before going to sleep, which doesn't sound crazy, but if you actually think about like when you finish eating, oftentimes it might be 8, 9 o'clock at night, then you're going to sleep at 10, 10:30, like that's not that much time. I've definitely seen a massive difference in my sleep quality eating earlier, and I know that will play an impact on how well I can recover from training. All right, speaking of which, next drop set.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one. Wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one. Wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one. Wanna move my feet, wanna drop on one.
I think that's all I had to say for meal timing. Yeah, prioritize post-workout meal if you can, if you have time, and don't eat too close to bed. Quite simple, really. As per usual, I've forgotten something for dinner, so I just need to grab some things from Tesco's, and then we go home, make dinner, eat dinner,
Day of eating complete, video done, sorted. So here we have the post-workout. We've got about 100 grams. I've already had some of those dried apricots. And then in here is some almond milk blended with a banana and a couple of scoops of chocolate whey protein. So as I said beforehand, with the meal timing, it's about an hour post-workout, high glycemic carbs and a decent amount of protein. Now I'm just then gonna cook dinner, and I'll probably eat dinner in about an hour, probably about 7 o'clock, which is about 4 hours before I go to sleep. So that's kind of where I'm sticking to. So we are back, and tonight's dinner I'm going to be cooking one of my favourite meals just because it's amazingly tasty and super simple, and that is a chili con carne with beef. Again, on my blog I have a recipe for this, and it's kind of similar to what I used today. I changed things a little bit, but I will link that down below. Here's what I made earlier. This is tonight's dinner. As I said, we're a little bit back on calories. I needed to make things up, so it is a hefty one. When you have meals like chili and you've cooked a bunch of ingredients together, it can be quite awkward to track macros. So for me, because I'm not cutting, I'm actually just making sure that I have enough calories. What I've done is just like roughly guesstimated the amounts I've had of the core ingredients, i.e. beef, the tomatoes that have been put in, the beef stock, that sort of stuff. Anything else is going to be additional, so I don't really care. It's just more calories at the end of the day. But I had about 330 grams of minced beef here, so it's about 65 grams of protein for that. And then everything else, which is a whole avocado, a bunch of sour cream, and rice and cheese on top. So it's just like calories, calories, calories. Probably more fat than I would usually have in like an evening meal, but that's because I missed out with my morning one. But it does bring the calories up to what we want for the day, which, for MyFitnessPal, we have 226 grams of protein, 207 grams of carbohydrates, 152 grams of fat, for a grand total of roughly 3,200 calories. Now this is probably a tad low on what I'm going for on the day-to-day, but as I said, like, it's the lower limit. I've underestimated if anything, so it's probably going to be maybe another 100 calories of everything else that I've had I didn't necessarily count for. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with that. It's going to be a big meal and I take my time to eat it. But that's basically it for the day of eating, guys. It is now 7:30, as I said, so it's about 3.5 hours before I'm going to bed. So maybe this one was a little bit later than I wanted to. If you found this episode useful with the meal timing tips, or just want to leave a comment and join the conversation, then do so in the comment section down below. Right next to it is that like button. You can hit support the channel, show you're enjoying the Day of Eating series. Right next to it is also that subscribe button if you want to join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe. But that's been it for this week, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a strong week and peace.